Sri Krishna, Jai Sri Ram, Jai Jalaram. Thank you, Satish Bhai, Vijay Bhai, for giving me this opportunity to say a few words today. But more importantly, I really want to thank you and the whole of the team that you have for organizing a fantastic event over the last two or 3 days, and obviously concluding on Wednesday. Before I start, I know a lot has been said about our company. I think, like Jesus Bhai said, I have not really been born with great difficulties. Our family was quite comfortable. The family originally is obviously from India. My grandfather left India in 1906 and settled in Kenya. At a young age, obviously, when my father was only 5 years old, with his two younger brothers, Shandyaka and Chandyaka, who were 3 years and 1 year old, he lost his father, my late grandfather, Pradip Dhamecha. So the family went through a difficult phase, but with the help and support of my grandmothers, Chiviben and Laduma Dhamecha, the family actually came through with a huge amount of assistance from the local communities back in Kisumu in Kenya. So my father and my uncles, obviously at a young age, at the age of 16 odd, progressed through jobs, tried to actually make the most of what they can. My father's first job was actually as a banker at Barclays Bank back at the age of 16. Ensuring that obviously they had to raise the family as a joint family. We have always been a joint family. Even today, we are still a joint family back in the UK as well. Through the Africanization policies, we had a successful hardware business there. My father decided in 1971 to settle in the UK. After his initial period, buying and selling properties, having a small store, he decided to actually go into the cash and carry business in 1976, so it's going to be 50 years next year. So in reality, what we have has really been the foundation stones laid by my late father, Koridas Bhai, and my two uncles, Shandyaka and Jandyaka. It is really through their hard work, effort, dedication, and everything that you can say that they have done to actually build the businesses that we currently have. They've actually they actually handed over the business about 30 odd years ago to the second generation, because we were actually involved in the business anyway at that stage, having completed our education. The business has grown. We currently now have about 13 branches all over the UK. We serve 20,000 independent retailers. That's really 50% of the independent convenience stores in the UK. We sell something like 12,000 different product lines, and the supply base that we have is something like 300 odd regular supply base. What we do is very simple. We just buy and sell products. આપણે કહીએ ને ગુજરાતીમાં વેપારી જ છે, ખાલી વેપાર પ્રોડક્ટ લઈ માર્જિન એડ કરી અને આપણે વેચીએ છીએ. So we are not doing anything fundamentally different or unique. We don't have any own label products. We only sell branded products. Branded products કેમ આપણે વેચીએ છીએ એનું કારણ એક જ છે. એક કે કાલે આપણે કોકોલા વેચ્યું છે કે હાઇન્સ બેક બીન્સ વેચ્યું આજ કે Kellogg's cornflakes વેચ્યું. We don't have to actually look at the marketing aspects and actually trying to say કે આ મારી પાસે પ્રોડક્ટ છે તમે રાખશો. Product automatically pre-sold in a way, because everyone is, all the retailers, consumers are aware of the actual products that we actually sell. So that's the reason why we have stuck to that core philosophy of having branded products that we sell to our retail customer base. So like I said, અમે કંઈ unique કરતા નથી, simple જ છે. The reason why we are successful is very simple and very straightforward. Like Jesus Bhai said earlier on, if you do something consistently, you just get better at it. એટલે આપણે શું કરીએ છીએ કે પ્રોસેસ બધી જગ્યાએ સિમ્પલ રાખ્યા છે. Our business model is very simple. We only serve the independent retail trade. We are not into food service. we don't do any catering products, we don't do any online, we don't do click and collect. We are more or less like a wholesale supermarket. A lot of you may have heard of Costco's or Macros of this world, so it's a very similar concept that we have. So all we do is buy and sell, but like I said, we keep the business model very, very simple. The reason why we've also been successful is through relationships. The fact that we have to have competitive prices is a given. In any business, whether it's banking, whether it's wholesale, whether it's retail, whether it's hospitality, price has to be competitive, that's a given. So what we actually do is we keep the business model simple by making sure we focus on few things, few simple things. That is, we have an extensive product range. We sell something like 12,000 different product lines just for retailers. If you look at our competitors, they would probably have something like 6,000 to 7,000 different product lines that they sell. We currently sell about 12,000 different product lines. That's the first thing. Second thing that we focus on is stock availability. There is nothing worse than going to a store to buy a product and it's not available. કારણ કે આપણે ગમે ત્યારે જઈએ, આપણે કંઈ વસ્તુ જોતો હોય, આપણે સુપરમાર્કેટમાં જઈએ અને માલ ના હોય, તો obviously it's frustrating. So that's the reason why we focus on stock availability. Number 3, what we do is ensure customer service is at its best, as much as we can probably do. The reason why customer service is very important, and especially near the areas like checkouts, for example, is very important. આપણે શોપિંગ કરવા જાશું, સ્ટોરમાં ઘણી ફેરે કલાક, 2 કલાક હશું, પણ ચેકઆઉટ્સ પાસે આવીએ અને આપણે ખાલી 10 મિનિટ ઊભા હશું ને તોય આપણે એમ લાગશે ક્રાઇસ્ટ અડધી કલાકથી અમે રાહ જોઈએ છે અને કોઈ સર્વ નથી કરતું, કારણ કે ક્યુઝ બહુ હોય છે. So we actually focus on customer services, primarily making sure that the customer, when he leaves the store, leaves with a pleasant experience. The other thing that we actually focus on is empowering our people. So if you look at people that have actually are still working with us, our longest member of staff that we have is now the general manager at our Watford branch. He has been with the business for 44 years. If you look at, for example, our operations director છે, તોડિયો છે, Gary Jarvis કરીને છે, he travels 2 hours every day to come to the office. He has been with the business for 35 years. So what we do is we actually empower people. We make sure that they have the autonomy, and we try and make sure they feel that they are the owners of the business. ઘણી ફેરે employee તરીકે આપણે કરીએ છીએ કે employee તરીકે culture હશે, so that actually is something that એ લોકો આવશે ખાલી કરવા પૂરતા આવે છે. આ જ્યારે right environment, culture, value systems right હશે and they're treated like families, it'll make a huge difference. So empowering our people, and more importantly also empowering the youth that we actually have. As the business has grown, we now have about 1,100 employees within the group. We try and ensure the younger generation is promoted. We train people from within and we try and promote them. The reason again for that is, whilst we can bring in outside talent, and we do need to bring in outside talent to supplement the existing pool of people that we have. But if people actually move within the ranks, it empowers the other people in the organizations to say કે અમે ભલે શોપ ફ્લોરમાં કામ કરીએ છીએ પણ કાલે અમે સુપરવાઇઝર થશું, કાલે અમે જનરલ મેનેજર્સ થશું. So if you look at majority of our general managers, they have been groomed from within, and most of them have started as basic shop floor workers. So we're very proud of that achievement as well. So like I said, we haven't done anything fancy. We've just done something that consistently we have to do to try and enhance the experience of our customers. More importantly, all the staff are treated like our extended family as well, but like the connectivity area, cultural values area. One of the other things that we have to bear in mind, our business name is also Dhamecha Group. So anything that we have to do, we have to make sure that the company name, company reputation is not tarnished at any cost. So that's really some of the simple things that we've done. And also remember, we are still a joint family business. Earlier this afternoon, we heard about succession planning. How do you try and maintain generational wealth transfers? Some of these challenges we will, I'm sure, have at some stage. But right now, having been in business now as a family business for the last 50 odd years, touch wood, ભગવાનની દયાથી કાંઈ તકલીફ નથી આવી. કારણ કે જેમ ફેમિલી બિઝનેસીસમાં બીજો એક ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ કહેવત છે કે જેટલા મોટા હોય ને એને વધારે સેક્રિફાઈસ કરવાનું છે. એ સેક્રિફાઈસ કરશો ને તો જ કુટુંબમાં સંપ અને ભાવના ટકી રહેશે. અને કારણ કે અલ્ટિમેટલી it is the family values that we actually have. The love and respect for all the family members is very important, and that I think has been one of the important things why we've been successful so far. So if I tell you one thing, in the last 50 years that in fact 54 years that we've been in the UK, we've never ever had to use lawyers, ever. Lawyers use કર્યા જ કેની વાસ્તે? Property transactions કર્યા એની વાસ્તે, businesses લીધા હોય ત્યારે, but we have never sued anyone and we have never been sued in the UK or anywhere else. કારણ કે રિલેશનશિપ્સ છે ને એ બહુ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ વસ્તુ છે. આઈ નો ઘણી ફેરે કહું છું, અમારે ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ આ જે વેરહાઉસીસ આપણે બિલ્ડ કરીએ છીએ તો વી યુઝ અ કંપની કોલ વાસ્ક્રોફ્ટ કોન્ટ્રાક્ટર્સ છે. હંમેશા એ લોકો સાથે ખાલી આઉટલાઇન ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન નક્કી કરીએ આપણે કે કેટલાનું થશે, but we have never ever had formal contracts. All we've done is handshakes. So that tradition still carries on today. કે સંબંધ, relationship is more important than transaction. And what we also have to bear in mind and do is in anything that we do, we try and put relationships at the forefront of everything that we do rather than being transactional. Transactional કરશું તો એ પછી ખાલી પૈસા ખાતર જ કોઈ કરે છે અને એ પ્રેમને ભાવથી નહીં કરે. જો વ્યવહાર તરીકે કરશું અને આપણે જો રિલેશનશિપ્સ રાખશું તો એ સંબંધ ઘણો ટકી રહેશે. અને like I said, what we are doing is nothing fancy. We just run a simple business serving the independent retail trade, and we are proud of the heritage as second generation that we've had because of the strong foundations laid down by my father Khoridas Bhai, my kaka Shandyaka and Chendyaka. In hisabe, we are where we are today. So I must acknowledge them once again. And એના સિવાય finally ઘણી ફેર આપણે કહીએ ને કે આપણે થોડીક લાઈફમાં પુશ જોઈએ. અમારી પુશ અમને વધારે આવે છે વડીલોના આશીર્વાદ, સંત ને પુરુષો ને બધા જે આવે છે, અમારા જે ગુરુ છે બધા છે જામનગરમાં છે, બરોડા છે, એ લોકો બધાના આશીર્વાદ છે, એ અમને પુશ આપે છે. કારણ કે ઘણી ફેર હોશિયારી એકલી નથી કામ આવતી, બધાના આશીર્વાદ છે ને એ મોસ્ટ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ વસ્તુ છે. અને એની હિસાબે આપણે એમ લાગે છે આપણે બધું કરીએ છીએ, ઘણી ફેર આપણે નથી કરતા, બીજા બધાના સાથ, સરકાર અને આશીર્વાદ છે ત્યારે આ બધું થાય છે. થેન્ક યુ વેરી મચ ફોર લિસનિંગ ટુ મી. જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ બધાને.